back in heavy destroyers.
Oh my.
Right, boys and girls, welcome back. And it's probably escaped literally no one's notice who's following 40k that the boys and girls from GW Towers did a preview of the 9th edition box set. I'm joined by Chris and Jamie, my erstwhile colleagues. Say hello, boys.
Good afternoon.
I thought one of you was going to say hello, boys.
No, it's been done.
Right, we obviously watched the video, watched the preview, and thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't quite what I expected. I was expecting maybe a little bit more to do with perhaps 9th edition or whatever it's going to be called. A little bit more insight into that, maybe on top of the box set stuff. It was okay as a whole. I think, as you guys have already said, away from this, a lot of the focus was pretty much just on the Space Marines. And I did start to wonder whether or not there was going to be any mention of any of the design elements for the Necron stuff. But yeah, it was so overall. I'd give as good as it is to have the previews. It was okay.
Go on, JB. You must have a thought. You're a resident Necron bod.
Similar to Chris, there was one point I got to and I thought they're not going to mention the Necrons at all. There's going to be a preview of this 2-part box set, and there's only going to be one part of it.
Yeah.
So and then they threw in that little section at the end where they went over some of the painting inspiration for the Necron stuff, which then got hijacked by some Primaris units that you started talking about. But yeah, I mean, I was expecting some rules as well, maybe, and some reasoning behind them.
Well,
yeah, I was expecting a little bit more insight into it.
Well, the idea behind this box set, they said in the video that this is not aimed at enticing, obviously, new people in the game. This is aimed at existing players. So, Jamie, you are literally one of the key demographics for this box.
Mm.
So,
I would say on that point there, Ben, they sold it really well to the Marine players. I just don't think the preview. I don't think the preview did any particular favors for trying to sell it to the Necron players. To be honest, it just. Other than that, a little bit at the end, I just don't think there was all that much insight, which was a bit of a shame, to be honest. Whether or not they just got a little bit carried away with that, it was pretty obvious. The two presenters were
when it comes to trying to sell it, they haven't got to sell it to the Necron players. They've just got to sell it to the biggest demographic, which is Marine players.
Yeah,
it's a
true.
box set. Providing they buy the box, they've sold it.
Right, just to clarify, everyone listening going forward, we may bash the shit out of Space Marines, but that doesn't mean, its taste is subjective. So just bear that in mind before we bash the shit out of Space Marines.
Disclaimer that solves everything.
Yeah.
It's subjective.
We're purely coming from this because we're primarily Xenos players, so we just get a little bit envious about the amount of love that Imperial, the Imperium gets, I guess. Which as we've already said, is the bread and butter of the company. But
that's a bile-fueled rant for a different day.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, Jamie, I mean, everything in this box is brand spanking new. I mean, as a Necron player, are you going to buy this box set? Or are you just going to wait for it to float up on eBay? I mean, I'm pretty sure they've designed it to do that pretty much.
Potentially, if I can get the Necron half of it and a rulebook for less than it would cost me to buy the box and then sell the Primaris units off, then I'll probably do that.
That's the issue, I think, because you only get one rulebook in there. So I think you're more than likely going to see one half of the box being sold, but without the rulebook being sold. So
exactly.
Until the rulebook
if I can get the Necrons and then I've got to buy the rulebook as well, is that going to cost me more than...
this is it. Unfortunately, there's none of us here that can sort of share the... We'll have to maybe reach out to our extended friendship group to see if anyone else collects Space Bros and is willing to go halves on the box set with you then. But yeah, I know where Ben's going with this. Ben,
come on, Chris. We don't have any other friends. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Yeah. But I think I know where you're going with this next comment, Ben.
You don't know? Well, I was going to say the book looks nice, doesn't it? Nice little fancy.
It's really nice. It's the brand new rulebook for the new edition, which has been obviously headed up by the Imperial Necrons, and it doesn't have a single Necron on the front of it.
Chaos on it. And I will notice they were absent from today's preview. But never mind about that.
Right.
Well-
Okay. Well, like you said, Jimmy, we could fucking rant on every day, all day about how we think, Marines. Boo, Marines! They take all. Boo, boo! Your other toys. Boo! They're not as good as our toys. Boo!
Your toys are inferior.
But let's move on to the actual, objectively looking at the models themselves. The first one we've got here is it the Primaris Captain? Now,
Yes.
out of the entire Primaris, the Primaris wing of this box, I mean, I've got the models that I don't like, and I think you guys share that opinion with me, and I've got the models I do like, and this is the one I do like, only because that helmet does it for me.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, actually. I'm just looking at it now, and it just looks like a really cool model, and I think it's the eyes and that face mask that do it for me. It's just a bit different.
It is, isn't it? It's just a little bit different enough from its brethren to stand out.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, that one.
Mm.
As Marines go.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I got to admit, being a Grey Knight player originally, I know I haven't really touched them in a long while, but if this is kind of giving you a little bit of an insight into where the range, is going design-wise, you can really see this fitting into the Grey Knight range. So it gives me some real hope into what the new range could look like for them in future, as and when that is.
Well, it's
literally silver. It is a Grey Knight.
It's literally a Knight
Yeah.
helmet.
Yeah. You really could turn those into Grey Knight with just slightly different pauldrons.
Because they've got that shield as well, haven't they? They've got scrolls all over the place. Looks just like a Grey Knight.
Yeah.
All you got to do is really change some of the heraldry.
Yeah, I do actually. I got to admit, I do like these new. I know I tend to. Well, we all bash the Imperial range, as we've already said, but I do like these new Space Marine units. Especially these guys with the big shields. They're very cool. They're basically the custodian version, aren't they?
I kind of like how somebody's written an essay on the bottom of his right leg. Who's
That's
reading
got
that?
to be a transfer.
It has to be a transfer. There's no way someone's
Zoom
done
in, can we
that.
find out what it says?
Well, I did decode that fucking Necron binary
yeah.
speak, didn't I?
Yeah.
Hey kids, want to see some new Ultramarines?
Yeah.
But it's like I say, going forward out of this box set, I've got to say, out of the Space Marine side, that's got to be my favourite model of the Space Marine
I
side.
don't know.
Two that I like, that's one of them.
Yeah, that's one of them for me. I do like the Chaplain, and I especially like the Executioner. Although I know we're going to come down to those guys. There's an element of that particular model that I'm not a big fan of.
Right. Well, I could say we can move on now. So the Primaris Lieutenant, 6 out of 10 could be more.
It's just like to be honest, it looks, other than the shield, it just looks like a standard Marine that we've already seen, to be honest.
I know, but a lot of Marines players will go, "Oh, what are you talking about? It's totally different. Look, he's got the bits on the bits. His skull's slightly to the left, and
He's got a Volkai pistol, which apparently is good.
they're like microwave guns, aren't they?
Are they?
So apparently, they described it as like they just heat things up from a
It's a
long
long
distance
range.
away.
What, like your soup?
Yeah, yeah, they turn people into soup from a long distance away.
Right.
It's like the Necron weapons, then.
Yeah.
No, your weapons turn people to dust from a long distance away.
I don't know, they look pretty gloopy in that trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it gave off kind of like a Fallout plasma weapon feel, didn't it? But Primaris Lieutenant, it's just, for me, this is just another Primaris Lieutenant.
There's one thing that strikes me about this. I don't know if it's the same for you guys. I know that pistol's got to fit into that holster, but it's still massive.
Yeah.
It's jarringly massive.
Yeah.
The holster, yeah.
Yeah,
that's pretty big. Actually, I mean, does it piss you off that these shields that are arguably old as fuck will provide a better save than your shields from the beginning of time from the race that have mastered death and technology?
Have we mentioned that before?
I know, I'm just bringing it up again because I know it really pisses you off.
Yeah, they explained it in the preview, though. The amount of skulls on a model directly influence how good it is.
Right.
Well, you only have, it's a known fact, you only have one skull on each
Yeah, it's
model.
like one skull per model. Yeah, it's a big skull, though, to be honest.
Which is
That's
why
it.
I've got about
which is
10
why
or 11 going
Necrons
on,
are at the
haven't
bottom of the meta, really, isn't it? That probably explains a lot.
Yeah. The more towards like gothic your aesthetic style is, the more ass you kick in the 40k universe. That's just a fact.
they?
So
I know Necrons have got a lot of gold going on. Gold carries a bit of weight.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Mm.
But if you
But,
don't have a
yeah.
lot of if you don't have skulls and scrolls, then you're not doing particularly well.
And as you did point out before, Ben, it is powered by like 8 AA batteries on the back of it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
that's true.
obviously,
8 batteries is a lot of power.
yeah. It's like saying at least Duracell's got a place in the 40k universe. I mean, those things got to eat double Ds. Or is it D
I noticed
batteries?
before, it's got his house key on it as well.
Yeah, no, I think,
Yeah.
I think that's to unlock his chastity belt.
I'd not actually noticed that key. That's a
I'd
very
go
good
into
point.
that lock that's just hanging from his just by his dick there. Wonder if it goes into that.
Yeah, that's how they unlock the lower half of the pauldrons. But
It
yeah,
doesn't come off till you've killed something.
Primaris Lieutenant, same as any other Primaris Lieutenant in my eyes. Primaris Chaplain, I like this guy because he's got a Terminator head.
Yes, sorry, I had to scroll down,
If
so
he
I was
had-
slightly delayed.
If he had a
Um,
different head, like a standard head, that wouldn't do much for me, but I do like the head.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's got a very Terminator sort of feel to it, and well, I think anyway.
does.
I do
It does.
like that. Yeah. As I said to you when when the preview was actually going on and they revealed this particular character, I would love to probably get one of these and just turn it into a Grey Knights chaplain. Although you did make the good point that it isn't really, again, it's not Terminator armor. So
Mate,
Yeah.
we're going off on a tangent. They've already said as much that, Grey Knights will be primarified at one point or another. I think they've said as much in like a Q&A they did a while ago. It's just a matter of time, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, each one of these like Space Marine character models, they've got one thing that really does it for me, and like obviously on the captain it was the head, and again on this one the head, because like that's a really striking like bit of bonds going on there, isn't it?
Yeah, that particular model, that's probably the most striking feature. If you go down to the next one, I know that's where we're going to, which is the Executioner, or the how do you pronounce it? Yeah, whatever it is. There's a lot about this that I like. There's the Mr. X sort of style head from Resident Evil, which I really like in this. It's a bit menacing.
Not Mr. T.
Not
Yeah,
Mr. T. No, I got my Misters mixed up.
Just so you guys are following when the preview is on, Chris was like, "Oh yeah, it's like Mr. T from Resident Evil." I mean, Jimmy, like, what fucking Resident Evil game are you playing?
It's got a few
like
mods.
Yeah, I mean, the head is it's not it's not here or there for me. I mean, like the sword's like a Tale of Two Cities for me. I love the pommel, and I like the way he's got those gloves, but the actual blade is like it's like a big square.
It's
I
an
don't
executioner's
like the-
sword, Ben. He's not stabbing anyone with it.
I've never seen an executioner's. I've never seen any sword which has a flat top like that before. I mean, I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of research that's gone into this particular model, but it just looks odd to me. It needs a point. God damn it!
Or an axe, then he
I
could
think
be a
it looks
proper.
more striking without one.
Ooh,
I like
an
the
axe-
I
an
like
axe
the
would be
studded leather
nice.
he's got going on.
Yeah, I do like that. I like the hourglass he's holding up as well. With how many skulls? Did we count how many skulls this guy actually has?
Okay.
About 17, they said, or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I can see 8, 9, including his ring, including his ring. Yeah, that's an insane amount of detail, isn't it? He's got like a skull ring on top of his leather gloves.
Yeah.
I mean, Christ Almighty, these guys must take longer than I don't know. How long does your missus take? Get ready, Jamie.
Probably about another 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, God, these guys must take ages just to get dressed. But then again, I suppose they've got Cersei to do that for them.
Can I also point out that this guy's clearly a Necron in disguise?
Well,
He's just wearing contact lenses, that's it.
Yeah, the head is a little bit too close to a Necron's head.
He's got no nose.
That's not a normal human face.
He's got no nose. As no one pointed out that this guy's either a Necron or Voldemort from Harry Potter.
If you edit this, can you put a Necron head next to that and see what it looks like? That is not a human head.
It's like I said, he's got no nose. He's defunct one sniffer. And it's really now I've seen it. I can't not look at his nose.
No ears. His eyes are way too wide.
Yeah.
Cheeks are pointy.
If you painted those eyes green,
that's a Necron.
Yep, it's a beefy Necron.
He's a chunky boy. Speaking of chunky boys, Bladeguard veterans. They're the next ones down.
I do like them. As we've already said, I like where the range is going. I like this knightly sort of style that they've gone for.
But that, you see, I don't see how that can sort of work with every single legion. It'll work with the vast majority of them, but there's some legions out there that just don't have that sort of style. I mean, I know the White Scars, for instance, they're more like the Genghis Khan sort of vibe going on. So I can imagine them being in the lighter armor because they tend to be faster. Same with like Raven Guard. I mean, obviously this would work for things like Grey Knights, Ultramarines, definitely Dark Angels.
Yes. I mean, Dark Angels have already got a unit which has beefy shields.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if I can see them as Blood Angels. Then again, I'm not really clued up when it comes to the fluff for the different chapters. So Imperial players, I'm sure, could correct us on this. But yeah, I don't.
Ultramarines are milquetoast, middle of the road. Dark Angels are knights. White Scars are Genghis Khan.
Raven
Guard are sneaky stab, so they've got to be wearing not big ass shit. Then you've got
the two Black Templars, wouldn't they?
Yeah, Black Templars will be all over this.
That's zealous as fuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Centaurians?
Yeah. Sorry?
Is it Centaurs or whatever the chapter's called? Could you imagine? You could mod these pretty nicely.
Minotaurs,
sorry, not Centaurs. Yeah, Minotaurs.
No, Minotaurs have got like the 300 thing going on. So they have rounded shields and spears.
Yes.
Salamanders, more lizards. They tend to have like scales on stuff. Blood Angels tend to have like 6-packs, like the Adonis sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
So basically, if you want some righteous-looking space bros, but you don't fancy Grey Knights or Custodes, then you want these.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
pretty much.
So you don't want the Super Space Bros or the Super Space Bros that were the Super Space Bros before the Super Space Bros came out. Then these are your guys.
Yep.
It must. I mentioned in a previous video, which pissed Grey Knight players off. Like you were the elite of the elite, and then Custodes came along and just literally stole all your thunder, and just like, no, we're having all this now.
That's what we should be like. Yeah.
Better as well.
Go on, Chris. You're about to say something.
No, I was just going to say, that when Custodes came along, it was very much a case of that's like fluff-wise, that's what we should be like in terms of in model form. And then obviously time went on, and then the Primaris stuff came out in Grey Knights again. Nope. Nothing.
Custodians are flying Eagle jet bikes that look like they've come off the front of a Meatloaf album. You have got a big baby carrier.
I do have a big baby carrier. I have 2, in fact.
Right. Bladeguard Ancient. For me, this guy's got a bit too much dress going on.
Yeah, he's a bit too priestly.
And I don't get it. What's with the hand?
I thought this was a lucky Necron pull, but one of them pointed out that it actually came off his banner. You've got like a skeleton on the banner and he's only got one hand. So that's why.
This is a little bit kind of going back to old, maybe medieval days where obviously there was a big belief obviously in faith and the whole thing about relics to do with, saints. It's that sort of look and feel, isn't it? With the whole, the old, very old knightly.
Very crusadery, isn't it?
Crusadery, feel to it. I'm personally not a fan. I think it's a little bit too far that way.
Mate, for me, it's the dress. I could get it. I could get behind it from like the waist down, but that way that sort of thing splits in the middle near his chest.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either. Yeah.
Go on, Jamie. You sound like you're on the like.
It's just when you said I can get behind it from the waist down. It just made me chuckle. But no, it doesn't do a lot for me. I can't look at that banner without seeing the skeleton going. Meh. Not one for me, that.
And now you've said it. Neither can I.
Yep. Also appears to have half a Necron's head.
Yeah.
Right, going forward, Chris, there's a lot of skeletons in 40k, and a lot of them are made of metal. So that's just a running theme.
Yeah, I know, but half the face is kind of skull-like, and then the other half is a little bit more robotic.
Yeah, there's a lot of robotics in 40k as well.
True.
Uh-huh.
If you go back and look at that chaplain again, could just be something like that.
Yeah. I mean, how close do you think they'd ever skirt to like having Necrons that have tried to infiltrate humanity by wearing skin? Do you think they dare to do that just to see if Fox or whoever runs the fucking rats?
I really hope they do.
Just go, I'm gone. Right, okay.
Or the N1000 or something.
Eradicators.
I do like these Eradicators. They're nice. I do like them.
I am a big fan
boys.
of anything with a Bane face mask.
Yeah. They're cool. I like them.
So, what are those guns? Are they flamers? I'm guessing they are.
They're
Or
like
melter guns.
Something like that.
So, I mean, I've always said that the new Primaris range is just basically slowly pushing the old Space Marine range out the door. Slowly. It's death by inches, but it'll get there eventually. I mean, I thought Hellblasters have already taken the place of like Devastators, but obviously you've got these. I mean, do regular Marines have like an equivalent to this?
Oh,
or was it just like
I couldn't say, mate.
It's just Devastators, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like just slowly pushing them towards the door. What are you doing? It's like, no, we're not doing anything. Shh, not doing anything. No, you're pushing me towards the door. What are you doing? No, shh. You go outside now.
Well, they've wanted to get to this end point, haven't they, for a long time? But they can't do a whole range review of all the Marine models in one go, can they? So they have to do it gradually.
Mate, there will come a point, I think, where Marine players will turn around and they'll realise that, obviously, because they've been collecting Primaris, they'll realise that their old stuff they haven't got rules for anymore. They'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah, but at that point there won't be any old stuff because it will all have been primorified.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's going to happen. And here we go. This was one of the main selling points of the previous preview. But they said, "Oh look, Primaris with chainswords." So Assault Intercessor Squad.
Meh.
I think you've just summed up every way I feel about Ultramarines, just in general. Meh.
Yeah, great.
Come on, boys and girls. They're just Primaris Marines with chainsaws. I mean, there's not much to boil down there, is there?
I like the stuff we've already covered because it's new and slightly different. But that, meh.
To be
These
fair,
are
Chris,
new and slightly different.
Emphasis on slightly. To be fair, Chris, these have got more dynamic poses than those Khorne Berserkers you want.
No, don't get me wrong. The models are beautiful. The models are great. Everything GW is churning out by model-wise is fantastic. I'm just a little bit, I don't know. I wouldn't say bored. I was never interested in the first place when it came to a lot of the Imperial stuff.
It's fine. You can just say you're bored.
No, it's just I just don't think that they don't really, unlike the other Space Marine stuff, they don't really make me go, ooh, that's cool. They just, yeah, okay.
I think just Ultramarines have that effect on me just in general.
No,
I mean,
you could paint these in any chapter colour. It wouldn't make a difference. These could be red, green, whatever. I would still be going, meh. There's nothing really that sort of makes me go, ooh. But then again, I'm not a Space Marine player, so...
That's it. Say the thing that makes everything we're about to say okay.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Right.
Taste is subjective.
The sweetest plum. Outriders. Right, who wants to fucking stop bailing into these things?
Right, no,
I'll go first.
You know what? Because I know you guys don't see these in a particularly positive light already from the conversations that we have, but I actually quite like these. I like them because they're beefy. They look a bit menacing, and like if they're going to hit you, and they're just going to make you explode into dust. I quite like them. They are very much a sort of a road equivalent to the Judge Dredd
Do you
bike.
know why? Do you know why that is?
Oh, I can feel a tasty burn coming.
Because as they said in the video, all marine vehicles must now be designed to look like fists. He said that.
He did. He did say
He
that.
might be extrapolating a little bit, but he definitely said it.
Just got an image of like the design studio, and on a whiteboard there's a big fist, and go, right, make everything like that.
Just draw points from this.
Like a big thought bubble.
I like them. The tanks on two wheels. I like them.
Yeah, but
I think they look fantastic, providing they haven't got to move anywhere.
They look great. However, if they come across a speed bump or a slight rock or hill, they're in trouble.
It looks like the guys just get on the bikes, sit on the bikes, and then immediately fall to the left or right. It's it can't just be me. I mean, why didn't they think it'd be, we should just probably raise the suspension on these things a bit, so the main body is at least clearing the ground a little bit?
I think if you took the front and back wheel, sort of brought them out a little bit, then pointed them down so the bike was actually off the ground, I think it'd look really good.
I know how. It's
A
just
bit like
simple things like that.
A bit like the sort of the Terminator bike in Salvation, if you can remember that.
Yeah.
I can't recall that off the top of my head, mate, but I agree with Jamie. It's like bring the wheels out and then down a little bit, and then what's the problem?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it feels like that these boys that have just stepped on these bikes are so fucking heavy that it's just grounded out the suspension. I mean, surely these things are made to compensate for these lads and their armor.
Yeah, I'm sure they can give whatever like sort of fluff they want behind this to make it realistic. I can see it sort of having suspension in there and raising up as and when they need it. But still, regardless of that, I personally like them.
The thing is, Chris, like 40k really works when you can suspend your disbelief. When you can put your disbelief up there, shut up, phone. When you can put your disbelief up there in the rafters and know that it's not going to fall down at any point. But when I look at these, I can hear a creaking above me, and I'm like, oh god, that disbelief it's going to come down, because these things can't go anywhere without hitting the ground. You know what I mean? Like the best bikes GW have done so far, in my opinion, the ones that use wheels are the Gene Stealer Cut ones, because they're basically dirt bikes. These could have been very, very good. It's just they've just turned it to like a squat, low sort of center of gravity model, and it just doesn't look right. I mean, they don't look fast. Do you know what I mean?
Nope, but they look like fists.
I forgot. Everything's got to look like a fist. I'm sorry. It's me. Right, anyway, we've covered the Primaris shit. Sorry, taste is subjective. We've covered the Primaris shit. Forget about that. Now, the stuff that we actually want to look at and that actually want to talk about, the Necron stuff.
Wait.
The tasty, tasty, sexy skeleton boys of the 41st millennium. And we're going to kick off with the Overlord. Jamie, feel free to cry manly tears and joy. Go.
Not really chuffing like that. And I've just noticed, I didn't notice this before, but he's got teeth.
He does have teeth. Yeah.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
All Necrons don't have teeth. They've got like a line with 3 lines going through it. This guy's got teeth. I'm definitely painting those gold.
Check out my grill.
Yeah.
I like how he's got the tachyon arrow. I think that's good.
Yeah, that's an option. Yeah, maybe he'll come with different options. That's definitely one. I think he's got a war scythe there, or some new interpretation of a war scythe.
Would
Yeah,
you
it just looks like a meaty, nasty dude, doesn't he?
That's the point, though, isn't it? He looks thick.
Mm.
I like all the cables he's got going on in his guts as well. A lot of this Necron range. I mean, we've said in the video. I like the way they talked about it in the preview, how they've like made it so the armor plating looks like it's taken a battering over the years, particularly in the leg department. I mean, as you can see there, he's got like rivets and dents and dinks. He just looks like he's aged. Like it looks like he's aged well, considering he's like what 400 million years old. Is that right?
65 million. Yeah, one of the designers talked about how they had a mock-up made where half was like it got all the bits on it, and the other half was just like this sub endoskeleton sort of thing, which is what they've painted that bit black, so you can see just in between all the other shiny bits. He's got like a second skeleton going on, and the other everything else is just sort of armor plating.
Yeah, it's
so that's what's painted differently.
Yeah, I do like
Jamie,
that.
I'm just going to say I am very conscious that the Necrons are going to start to steal the old vents on the back there from Tyranids. The old spinal back.
Well, Tyranid stole it from Alien, Ben, so deal with it.
Oh, he's got you there. Yep.
So, fine. Well, fuck you very much. Here's one for you, though, Jay. Would you prefer your scythes to be more scythe-looking, or would you like them looking like that?
Kind of like that. You know, there is a place for a scythe.
Yeah, it's
war
on a
scythes have
Nightbringer.
always looked like that, haven't they?
I don't know. I mean, I just think to myself, like, you know what? Would that look good with an actual like future tech scythe thing? An actual thing that looks like the standard scythe, you know, with the blade coming out.
I quite like that.
With a scythe.
That looks more meaty. It looks like it's going to hurt a lot more when it hits you. Whereas a scythe is a normal one, like what the Nightbringer has. It doesn't have quite that same sort of brutality to it, in my opinion.
I don't know if you guys see it as well, but like where the bottom of the blade ends, it sort of looks like his hand's passing through it. That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's almost like they've edited that somehow.
Either that or the blade is maybe it's just the way it looks, like the blades come down to the point.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I've not noticed that. That looks a bit weird.
Yeah, that's by the by anyway. Yep, I like it. It's good.
Royal Warden. Now, this was the one we were like, is that just going to be like a sergeant? But they seem to be going for like a royal court sort of thing, which I dig. I dig it.
I mean, they've been banging on that drum for years, haven't they? There was even a royal court detachment. I think it was it 8th or 7th? Might have been both.
Yeah, it would have been 7th.
Yeah, I saw some leaked rules earlier in the week, and I thought this was going to be an immortal overseer, which you could attach to a unit, and that might still be the case. Or then again, it might just be like a guard for an overlord or something.
Could be a dual build.
From what I remember them saying in the preview, it sounded like this guy could be attached to either your warrior unit or your immortal unit as a captain.
Because if he is the guy in the picture, then he is standing next to a squad of warriors.
Yeah. I remember something like it was going to be the equivalent to a Space Marine captain, where you could basically put them in warriors or immortals. So, yeah, I think we've already discussed that before when we did when we talked about that particular leaked image.
It's a little thing, but I like it. I like it when guns have a logic to them, like in what was it? I think it was Abaddon. I think the belt in his gun, or it was some model like that. No, I think it was one of the new Space Marines. Basically, he had like a minigun, and the belt, the ammo belt, fed back into his backpack. And this has got like a similar sort of thing going on, like the power source is coming away from the gun and going somewhere else. I really like that in weapons because it makes them feel.
All the immortals have got that.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh, I've just never noticed that before. I'm not sure. I'm not too keen on his arm dangly bits there. I mean, but what is that? Is it like a skirt for his arm, or?
Yeah, it's just like it's similar to the capes other sort of lords and overlords have got, except he doesn't have a full cape. He's just got like a bit of drapery dangling off his arm. I think it's all right. Gives him a bit more authority.
No, they're all about the authority. Right. Plasmancer.
What is this guy? What does he do? I need to know.
I don't know. I can't get past the guy's chin.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing about cryptex and whatnot among the Necrons. The longer the chin, the more powerful they are.
Oh, really?
What?
Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing.
One day they'll encounter one with a chin so long he's literally using it to prop himself up.
I think they all meant to simulate beards, to be honest.
Oh.
Well, they did say that.
Solid.
They did say that these are meant to be like the wizards of the court, aren't they? That's the kind of role they fulfill. But if you read the blurb there, it says Plasmancers are a mysterious class of cryptech, also known as harbingers of destruction. Very cool. This title is well earned. As it happens, a Plasmancer is a master of the art of weaponizing the hyper-technology of the Necrons. Still can't give the shields a 3+ invul save. And the plasmic lance it bears, equally deadly at range as it is in melee. So
that's deadly in melee?
I don't know, mate. Like it's a lance, isn't it? That's not a war scythe, so that could have like a fucking savage AP on it. You never know. It's meant to be like a wizard, isn't it? So we don't know what he does.
He did say in the preview that they are all known for casting certain powers and whatnot. So my mind started racing and thinking maybe there's some way I can do something in the psychic phase in this new edition. But that's wild speculation.
Or maybe it's because you've never had a psychic phase from what I'm aware of anyway, but you do have things which allow you to cast powers which are outside of the psychic phase and can't be denied, like obviously your Catan. So maybe he does something similar where, you have very strong anti-psychic stuff, and then rather than having psychic powers, you have something which is cast separately from that, either at the start of the shooting phase or whatever it is for your Catan, and he's able to do something very similar.
Yeah, like from the plasma tree or the plasmancy tree of psychic spells or whatever.
Yeah. So, looking forward to seeing whatever he does. Interesting.
I don't know about the design though. I mean,
I just don't like the chin. I can't get past the chin.
Can't get past the chin. Fair enough.
Then,
for me, it's this weird tail thing going on at the back. I dig the fact he's like a torso that floats. I like that, but I would have preferred that tail to be more like a spinal column.
Is it not a spinal column?
It looks like a spinal column, Ben, with a big pointy spear at the end of it.
It could just be the big pointy spear at the end of it that's not doing it for me. Would it have been better if it ended in like a load of like cables that just like feeling around for stuff? No. Would have been more eerie.
Quite like that. All around, it kind of does it for me.
I get
if that does it for you.
Regardless of the design, he's going to be a bit of a badass, especially with his two sort of
crypto thralls.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to say this now. I'm not a fan. I think they look a little bit too daft. They look like dustbins on legs.
You're sorry about shitting on these, but you don't give a shit about shitting on Space Marines. I'm sorry, Necron players, but I don't like these. Fuck you, Ultramarine players. They're all shit.
I can't. They look like dustbins on legs.
Yeah, the design in it. That's what they're supposed to look like. They're like Igors or something, aren't they?
Well, the bodyguards are only for the wizards, the Plasmancers. I mean,
mad scientist little minions, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of that going around, isn't there? I mean, Gene Steel Cult have got the little fucking horrible Gene Steel Cult familiars. Fabius Biles got his little minion Gimply. I mean, it's going around. Like, everyone important nowadays gets their own little minions. So, I mean, I've got really nothing to add towards what Chris said on these. I mean, the bins, the
I can see why
bins.
they've been designed that way, and I would laugh my ass off if they were monsters in combat.
yeah, that would be quite amusing.
Right. Now, moving on from the walking bins, we've covered this guy. I don't think we need to dwell on him too long. The Scorpeth Lord.
I give him 10 out of 10.
I have passed through the complete spectrum of this guy. I started looking at him and thinking, ooh, I don't like him. But then I started noticing him a bit more from across the room. I'm thinking, oh, he looks kind of good. And then I'm at the point now where I'd probably go up and buy him a drink.
If it's one thing I've only really just noticed about how he connects with the base. He comes across like he's a really big, heavy, thunderous unit because every single one of his legs is punching through the ground, including a massive, the base of what used to be maybe a statue or the base of a wall. He's just he's
That's one
just
of the
embedded
things
in.
that's sort of really doing it for me with this range. They've made the chunky Necron really chunky looking, about the size of that head and how wide his neck is.
Yeah. I love this guy. He is amazing. He is one sexy model.
He's not skipped shoulder day, has he? He's fucking big.
And skipped any day. He's got 3 arms, 3 legs.
Tell you what does it for me though. I mentioned in the video. It's just like the legs look like the sort of animated like rock to me because they've taken that sort of like battle damage or damage from time.
Yeah.
It looks really good. I mean, I know this paint scheme. It's a nice paint scheme. This like sort of like copper and bronze, but Christ, I bet this would look really good. And what's your dynasty, Jamie? The red and silver one.
Novok.
Yeah, really good. Like a red sort of color scheme. Or like, I mean, how would you do that? I mean, would you paint the armor sections red and the rest of it silver, or?
Nah, I think I've always gone with painting the really chunky armor plate in red and the rest of it sort of silver with darker recesses. If you paint all the armor bits red, it'll look a bit daft, I think.
Mm. Right, okay. Well, the Scorpeth Destroyer is moving on from that. Again, we've covered these boys. We've got a clear picture of them now, but we had that earlier on in the week. Same sketch, they're good looking. Nice, big chunky boys. Very
There's still
nice.
one loadout we're not aware of, though.
Those weapon options you have there are exactly what you get in the kit. There's no secondary option, so you can't put the same weapon on all 3 of them.
Really?
Yeah. So something I noticed on the sprue.
Oh, okay. So you won't have different weapon profiles then?
Right, so we know...
There are 2 different profiles, but the sprue you get contains exactly those weapons.
Oh.
I thought there would be 3 profiles because they alluded that there would be 3.
No, I think there's just 2. There's a dual sword one and then a 2-handed sword one, and that's your lot.
Oh, okay. Well, that's slightly disappointing. I thought you'd have been be able to make a squad of like proper hard-hitting dudes.
You can. I'm assuming you can have the same weapon on all 3 of them. But you just don't get that in the box set.
Okay, well, fair enough. Well, we know these guys can be accompanied by this little guy, the Plasmacite.
Now, this, Ben, is the Gimli of the range, rather than the 2 dustbin walking models that we've seen already. It looks interesting. I don't like what that thing is coming out above his head, dripping with plasma.
Proboscis or something.
What is this guy meant to do? I mean, they said in the video that this thing's meant to like jack up the destroyers, the Scorpeth dudes, to make him even more killing. I mean, how is that going to happen unless that thing's a taser? It's just like shocking him, like go faster, kill, sort of thing.
Well, in the leaked rules that I saw, there were rules for this Plasmacite, and whether they're legit, I don't know. But he had a big benefit on reanimation.
Okay, is that it? Just like a buff to reanimation.
I can't remember the rule exactly, but I think it was +1 to reanimation, like a Cryptek, or you could re-roll ones on reanimation. And if the unit kills another unit, then they can re-roll reanimations for the rest of the game, providing this thing was in the unit at the time, something like that.
Wow. That's
that's disgusting.
Well, I think we already know that these guys, the Scorpeth Destroyers, can charge the advanced, like Gene Stealers. And I don't need to tell you how good that ability is.
It does seem that way, yeah.
Just the hauling ass across the table and just getting to stuff. But
if they move 8 inches, that's quite a threat range. They can move 8, advance 6, and then charge 12.
Yeah, you never know. You might have a strategy and let's double your advance roll.
It's unlikely, mate. Necrons.
Maybe,
I-
but these are new Necrons.
I like the little scarab at the base of its leg as well.
Yeah.
That's going to be a bastard to paint like that. Because if that's a 25mm base, that scarab's just going to be the equivalent to like the end of a rifle. It's going to be tiny.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I like
silver and a wash, be all right.
Silver in a wash. The Necron's best friend. Agrax searching. Or was it Nolan Oil?
Null oil.
Nolan Oil. Right. This is. We've gone from like the bikes being like there to the Canoptic Reanimator, which is like, oh.
Yeah,
This thing.
Jellyfish, War of the Worlds, thing.
Praying mantis. I see more of a praying mantis sort of esque, sort of, I don't know, style in this.
Mate, it's got everything going for it for me. It's Lovecraftian-ish. It's like mantoid-ish. It's obviously robotic. It's just good from head to toe. It's nice.
It's got that very sort of aged, weathered look to it as well, like you said, with all the chipping on the legs and the blades. I gotta admit, out of the box set, the Necrons win hands down. I'm not being daft over that, like in terms of bias, because I'm not necessarily a fan of the Space Marine range. I just think the Necrons overall are a much more attractive model range than the Space Marine stuff that's in the box as well.
Objectively, the Necrons look more interesting.
Yeah,
I think
I would say
interesting's
so.
the word, isn't it? Because you look at all the Marine units, and you've got a good idea what they're going to do, haven't you? Really, like the bikes, the Blade Guard veterans. You've got a very good idea of what they're probably going to do in combat or shooting or whatever. But these things, like that plasma sight, who's got a clue what that's going to do? And this thing, you know what I mean?
I could just imagine like a still battlefield and this thing just like looming. I can imagine this thing. It just looks like it moves completely silently, like in an eerie way.
Yeah, it's almost like it's floating, just tapping along the ground.
Yeah, and no Necron army would be complete without Canoptic Scarab Swarms.
Yay!
Yes, no more of that fucking shitty one scarab at a time bollocks. You get fucking all of them in one chunk, bam, on a base.
Redesign them as well, so they look a bit less cartoony.
Can you imagine if you had the original ones? Can you remember the original scarabs?
Oh, vaguely, yeah.
They were fucking goofy looking. I love that. I mean, you can because I've got the old style gaunts in my collection. So you'll see a big squad of gaunts, and then you'll see like peppered in there like one or two fucking goofy looking gaunts. And you're like, what the fuck is that thing? And you can like see the evolution of it. I mean, this gives me hope because Rippers come in ones as well. So if they're doing this for Necrons, I hope to God they just get rid of the single Rippers and just like have like a solid plastic thing to just glue on a base and that's it. But yeah, the Scarabs, tip top. Right, rank and file Necron warriors. These are the blokes you're going to see most of, and yeah, as far as I'm concerned, they've kept true to the original design. But again, I wasn't keen on the battle damage to begin with, but it's grown on me, and I really like it, particularly like the guy missing half his face.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one.
Yeah, it's grown on me as well, to be honest. I've always had it in my head that because they live in metal and they reanimate, they should be like perfect and pristine all the time. This doesn't really jive with that, but it's kind of interesting to look at, and it gives them more character, so I'm quite a fan of that.
I mean, obviously you've got the two weapon options. I mean, I think they said like the double barrel one's going to be like a more close range, like possibly stronger version, get better AP probably. And obviously the
rule for anything to go by, it's like a range 18, strength 5, -1, 1 damage, assault, which I can see me taking on probably everything.
Would you go for that? Would you go for a close range? Well, you're melee, aren't you? You prefer a melee force.
I don't know. Well, I play that Nephrek Dynasty a lot, don't I? The auto advance is 6, so assault weapons and everything would be brilliant.
Fair enough. Well, that's the models, and obviously if you scroll down further, you can see there's the book. You know, there's Gilliman facing off against Abaddon the Despoiler. I don't see how that's even remotely a fair fight. Gilliman should kick his ass. Primarch, and he's not.
Yeah, but he's infused with demon energy.
Juice.
He's got demon juice.
Demon juice.
Oh, he's so evil.
Filled with the warp energy, so that's why I guess he's,
Yeah, so there you go. The core book, Chaos, Imperium, and the little pamphlet that comes with it. There you go, Jamie. There you are. And there's your guy opening his mouth. Yeah, going, meh. Meh. I'll get you. But yeah, that's everything for the box. But that wasn't it. That was not it, because at the end of it, at the end of the actual preview, they teased more new models that we hadn't seen and clearer pictures of models that we'd already knew existed. And we could start with the Invader ATV all-terrain vehicle. Look at that. It's a buggy.
It's a buggy.
It's a buggy. It's a big buggy fist.
Notice how, it does seem like it's off the ground this time, though.
It's got no armour in the front of it.
Got a cross-shaped plate in front of your dude driving it.
I mean, it's got nothing. I would at least expect it to have a fucking cattle prod or a cattle grid or something.
I quite like it.
Hang on, let me just look over. Yeah, my Gene Stealer Cult Wolf Quad has got more going on in the front of it than this thing has. I can't be the only one, surely.
It doesn't do a lot for me. If I was collecting Marines, I probably wouldn't even give this a second look.
Come on, Chris.
I like it. I think it looks like it is missing something on the front, just to make it look a little bit more beefy. But I quite like it.
Well,
I know why they've made this.
Go on.
It's for orcs, innit?
Yeah.
Jamie,
orc conversion.
Jamie, everything is for orcs.
That especially.
Right, Fire Strike servo turret, tarantula
Cool.
gun turret.
Yeah, cool. I like it.
It's a gun turret. It looks functionable. It looks like it does the business. Yeah, I'm happy with that. More than happy with
I've seen something like that around a military base, near me.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not
so
moving
good.
anywhere, is it?
Got a servo skull at the front of it because skulls. Yeah, it's pretty good. No, it's going to be defensible position now. Lockhurst heavy destroyers.
Can I?
Oh, yeah.
If I just say before, looking at this model
you
now
can't.
from a lower down viewing angle from what we originally saw in that image that GW released with all the extended range that's coming out with the Silent King and the New Kitan, etc. And we talked about how the jets on the base of this are more rounded than squared off, which we liked. However, looking at it now, it just looks a little bit soft, sort of malleable. It's the jets. I don't know. There's something about it which just make it look a little bit. I don't know, Play-Doh-y. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know what it is about those jets underneath that. I'm not a big fan. Looking at it now.
Come on, Jamie. As our resident Necron Pharaon, this has got to be doing it for you. I mean, it's doing it for me. It's fat. He's good.
Of course it's doing it for me. Look how chunky it is.
It's that,
Have I mentioned how I like chunky?
mate. It's. I get where you're coming from, Chris. I mean, now you've said it. I can see it. You know what I mean?
They look like the squidgy, like they're made of marshmallow sort of. Do you know what I mean? Looking at it, it doesn't look like dense sort of aged metal.
I get where you're coming from, Chris, but can I draw your attention to the massive fucking gun this guy's got?
Look, above that, I love the model. I like the shell over those jet engines. I love the gun. I don't believe that's the gun we saw in the bigger image.
No, it isn't.
No.
Yes, and I will give anyone a shiny penny if you can if you can read the blurb below it and pronounce the second gun right. Come on. Gauze Destructors.
and Enmitic Exterminators.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. You owe him a shiny penny.
You have one shiny penny, sir.
I
Christ,
don't like that.
If I'd said that, I would have said fucking Gauze Destructors or an enigmatic
I know what you'd
exterminator.
have said. I've seen your videos.
Flippity jib, big bang bang.
Yeah, it's a nice model. I like it. This is obviously a different loadout and slightly different. Is it a different head to what we saw in the other image as well? There was something about the other one that just made it look a little bit more menacing and a little bit more beefy and jacked.
Couldn't rightly say. It looks a lot like the existing Destroyer head.
Got his own splinter cell thing going on there, aren't he?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this is going to be like a heavy, and the other one we saw was probably going to be a standard Destroyer, and they're probably going to be in the same kit. So yeah, not much more to go on there. Yeah, I like it.
Well, if you like that, Jamie,
Whoo!
check out the Canoptic Doomstalker.
I fucking love that.
That's mint. That is mint. Yeah.
Oh, it gets better, guys. That gun is called a Doomsday Blaster.
Yep.
Because of course it fucking is.
And it's bigger than the other Stalker model that we've seen.
It's definitely taller.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, the other one seems like a sort of crouched a bit, doesn't it? But this one's like standing tall and proud.
I think you see it in the video at the end of the preview where they have the two of these stood side by side. I think the other one comes up to, like, the top of its back comes up to where the head on this one is.
Okay.
So there's a fair bit sort of extra height on this one compared to the other one.
Yeah.
Height is a good thing when you've got a whacking great gun on your head, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That gun is all kinds of sexy. It's a fucking doomsday gun, so
Yeah.
I guess with
It
this,
is just a shortened version of the one that's on the Doomsday Arc at the moment.
yeah. Jay, would you say that this is possibly it's probably not going to be as tough, but GW's equivalent of the Imperial Knight? It's that sort of model.
oh god no, it can't be. It's too spindly.
That's going to be nowhere near a knight.
Yeah, but it's going to have a lot. I can imagine this is probably going to kick out a lot more, firepower. Maybe, I don't know.
Firepower than a knight.
It depends what knight you've got, mate. Have you seen how
True,
much firepower
true.
I think the Castellans lay down?
No.
This has only got one big sexy gun. That thing's like a walking armory.
This will just be heavy support. It'll probably be a long range gun. But yeah, it won't stand up to a lot of firepower, I don't think.
No, it just doesn't. It doesn't look like it, does it? Unless it's got like an invulnerable field or something like that. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't look like it's going to stand up to much punishment. But that's for the rules. I mean, aesthetically, this thing is fucking 10 out of 10. Looks sexy as fuck. Big ass gun. Weird, creepy spider. Nice. And yeah, and that's it, boys and girls. That's everything. What was shown off in the preview. Space Marine range for me, 7 out of 10, better than average. Necron range for me, bang on 10 out of 10. Everything, the reimagining was great, and that's just not me just bashing Space Marines because taste and whatnot. That's the Necron range just looks more interesting. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd probably give the Space Marine range overall in terms of wow factor from this. I'd give it a 7.5, maybe at a push 8. Necrons, I give 9. There's just certain things about it that I don't like, or a couple of only minor things that just don't allow me to sort of give it a 10. But it's on a whole, it's a fantastic range, and I cannot wait to see what comes out for the other stuff that we've seen in other imagery, but we haven't yet seen or heard any sort of rules for yet.
Okay, Jamie, come on. I already know what you're going to say about the Necron range, but a fair, even, balanced opinion, if you will.
Anytime today, bud. Has he
Yeah.
dropped out?
I haven't dropped anywhere. I'll have you know. I was
So come on.
contemplating my response.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't know what you want me to say. It's really good. I've been waiting for this kind of release forever, and I've got one. So I'm going to love everything about it.
Okay, we know about the Necrons. We know how much you feel about that. But what about the Space Marines? Come on, objectively.
I think to bring the average back down to an even 7, I'll have to go with something like 6.5. That's okay. Can I do that?
I suppose.
You can do whatever
taste
you
is
want.
subjective. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's to get out of jail free
I
clause.
like 2 models out of it. So, yeah, that's more than I normally like. So, yeah,
Fair enough.
fine.
Well, that's it, boys and girls. Like I say, a lot to contemplate over. They did say that quote unquote 9th will be with us in a few weeks. That's what they did say. So we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Yeah.
Yeah, so a few weeks. I'm
Haven't
probably going
released
to...
Mariah yet.
I know. I'm going to put my money on mid-July.
Well, we will just have to see. Well, that's it for us. Me and Chris are going to drink beer. Jamie's going to... what are you doing?
Drink beer as well.
We're all going to drink beer. Hooray! Yeah, we'll catch you next time. See you later, guys.
Bye.